In another timeline, the injury never happens. No ACL tear, no fractured ankle, no frustrating rehabs, no what-if headlines. Just greatness, unbroken and undeniable. Let's walk through it, one move at a time. 1. OBJ stays a New York Giant. If Odell never gets hurt, he never becomes expendable. The tension between him and the Giants? Still real. The media noise? Still loud. But the production would have been too good to ignore. He would have kept doing what he does best. Electrify MetLife Stadium every Sunday and fill highlight reels by Monday. We're talking 1,400-yard seasons, double-digit touchdowns, and game-winning plays on repeat. He becomes the face of the franchise, alongside Saquon Barkley. And the front office, no matter how cautious or old school they want to be, knows they can't afford to let him walk. With no injury concerns hanging over his head, Odell becomes a long-term investment, not a trade chip. The Giants keep him locked in, pay him what he's worth, and hand him the WR1 role for a decade. No Browns trade, no scramble for value, just blue and white loyalty. Second, OBJ and Saquon Barkley play together on the Giants for multiple seasons. This right here could have changed everything. Barkley arrived in 2018 when Odell was already a star, but OBJ's season was cut short. Again, what could have been a lethal duo never got a fair shot. In this alternate timeline, they do. Odell draws safeties deep, Barkley torches linebackers underneath. Together, they create one of the most terrifying 1-2 punches in the league. Suddenly, the Giants' offense isn't just functioning, it's exploding. The defense can't stack the box against Saquon because Odell's waiting over the top, and you can't double Odell without watching Barkley eat you alive in the flat. This synergy, it gives the Giants something they haven't had since Eli's prime: fear. And speaking of Eli, 3. Eli Manning has better career stats. It's not just Odell and Saquon who benefit, it's Eli Manning too. The final chapters of Eli's career were marred by bad offensive lines, questionable coaching, and inconsistent receivers. But one thing he could count on when healthy was Odell. Now, imagine that chemistry running for 3 or 4 more seasons without interruption. OBJ was Eli's escape hatch, his bailout button, and his lightning rod all in one. With him on the field every week, Eli racks up more yards, more touchdowns, and way fewer interceptions. Instead of fading out, Eli rides a smoother exit. Maybe he plays one more season at a competitive level. Maybe he retires with his numbers padded just enough to sway the Hall of Fame committee without a debate. Odell doesn't just elevate himself, he extends Eli's legacy too. 4th, OBJ becomes a first ballot Hall of Famer. This one's big. Odell was on a historic pace during his first 3 seasons, faster than Moss, Rice, anyone. If injuries never slow him down, that pace continues. And with it comes the numbers, the accolades, and the rings. 1,400-yard seasons stack like dominoes. Touchdowns climb, milestones fall. He cracks 10,000 yards well before age 30. He hits 100 touchdowns. And every year he adds another Pro Bowl, another All-Pro nod. By the time retirement whispers start, the resume is bulletproof. No gaps, no lost seasons, no doubts. First ballot without hesitation. He walks into Canton wearing Giants blue and a gold jacket. 5. OBJ becomes the best wide receiver in the NFL. At his peak, Odell wasn't just one of the best, he was the best. But the conversation always got cut short by injuries. In this timeline, there's no interruption, no if only. He dominates every year. When Julio slows down, when Antonio Brown flames out, when Hopkins declines, Odell rises and stays. He leads the league in receiving multiple times. He's the guy defensive coordinators lose sleep over. The guy who makes impossible catches routine. The guy who draws comparisons to legends while rewriting their records. He becomes the gold standard, WR1 in real life, fantasy, and every highlight reel. A combination of speed, hands, swagger, and production the league hasn't seen in a generation. This isn't about potential anymore, it's about performance. OBJ, undisputed. 6th, OBJ becomes the highest paid wide receiver of all time. With dominance comes dollars. Injuries kept Odell from cashing in at the peak of his powers, but if he's healthy, he resets the market. We're talking $25 to $30 million per year. Easy. Bigger than Devontae, bigger than Tyreek. His deal becomes the wide receiver contract, fully guaranteed, front-loaded, filled with incentives he's actually hitting. His brand off the field makes it even bigger. OBJ isn't just a football player, he's a cultural icon. Sneakers, fashion, endorsements, his name's everywhere. The biggest brands back him because he's always in the spotlight for the right reasons. No injury headlines, no rehab stories, just wins. He earns generational wealth not just through NFL checks, but because he's the most marketable athlete in the league. Odell becomes the wide receiver equivalent of Mahomes in terms of money, an investment, a bet that always pays off. 7. OBJ still gets traded to the Rams, but on his terms. Even without injuries, Odell might have eventually parted ways with the Giants. But this time, it's not a panic trade, it's a power move. A healthy peak form OBJ becomes the kind of star that contending teams fight for. Instead of being dealt after a down year and injury concerns, he hits the market as the league's most valuable wideout. The Rams don't just pick him up mid-season, they trade for him early, or he signs as a top free agent. Either way, the outcome is the same. OBJ arrives in LA with leverage, with health, and with time to build chemistry with Stafford. Not a supporting cast member, a headliner. 8. OBJ wins 3 Super Bowls with the Rams. Here's where things get wild. With Odell fully healthy during his Rams tenure, the team becomes borderline unfair. In 2021, he was on pace for Super Bowl MVP before his ACL tore mid-game. Remove that injury, and he finishes that game as the Rams' hero. Now picture him across multiple seasons, uninjured, at full power. Cooper Kupp and OBJ on the field at the same time. It's defensive overload. No more double teams, no more predictable routes. Just layered attacks from 2 elite wide receivers, and Stafford dealing like a surgeon. 2021 is locked. 2022, more chemistry, more depth, another ring. And 2023, even with injuries elsewhere, a healthy OBJ could have carried the offense through the cracks. 3 rings, 1 dynasty. His name etched next to the greatest. 9. OBJ breaks multiple Super Bowl receiving records. No receiver has ever dominated multiple Super Bowls like Jerry Rice until now. With health on his side and the Rams system at his fingertips, Odell doesn't just win, he shreds records. Most receiving yards in a single Super Bowl? Possible. Most touchdowns across Super Bowls? Within reach. Longest catch? Maybe. He nearly had one of the greatest WR performances ever in 2021 before his knee gave out. Multiply that over multiple appearances and you've got history being rewritten. His name starts appearing next to Rice, Swan, and Edelman, not as a flashy one-season wonder, but as a Super Bowl staple. His playoff legacy goes from incomplete to untouchable. 10. OBJ lands in the Giants and Rams Ring of Honor. Very few players make it into the Ring of Honor for even one franchise. Odell, he earns it in 2, something almost unheard of in modern NFL history. With New York, he doesn't just become a fan favorite, he rewrites the franchise's receiving history. No injuries to slow him, no headlines to distract, just 5, 6, even 7 straight years of pure dominance. From the moment he made that catch against Dallas, he owned the spotlight, and in this timeline, he never lets it go. He becomes the most electrifying player to wear Giants blue since Lawrence Taylor. The Meadowlands? His stage. Every home game, a sold-out event. Then in LA, he doesn't just show up, he stays. In real life, he caught a touchdown in the Super Bowl and tore his ACL, but in this version, he keeps playing. He helps build a dynasty. With Stafford at quarterback and Cooper Kupp beside him, Odell becomes part of a generational trio. Multiple playoff runs, multiple rings, clutch catches and clutch moments. He doesn't rent a jersey, he builds a legacy. Years later, when both teams unveil their future Ring of Honor classes, there's no debate. In New York, he's remembered as the greatest receiver in team history. In LA, he's remembered as a foundational piece of a golden era. 2 cities, 2 teams, 1 name written in lights across both stadiums. Odell Beckham Jr., forever a Giant, forever a Ram. 11th OBJ changes the way the WR position is played. This isn't just about stats, it's about style, influence, and evolution. Odell Beckham Jr. made one-handed catches cool, but imagine if he stayed healthy and kept raising the bar. The WR position starts shifting around him, less about raw size, more about route artistry, burst, and flexibility. College receivers start modeling their game after him. High schoolers copy his toe taps, releases, and footwork drills. Coaches begin designing schemes that weaponize movement the way OBJ does. He becomes a blueprint, not just for fans, but for the position itself. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, they all take notes from the career that could have been, and the ripple effect changes wide receiver play for a generation. If Odell Beckham Jr. never gets injured, he doesn't just rewrite his legacy, he rewrites the game.